There's a myth that has taken hold in kitchens and health magazines everywhere, that if you want to rebuild strength, heal your joints and protect your muscles as you age, you need to sip on steaming bowls of bone broth. It's comforting, it's trendy, and it sounds like the perfect natural solution. But what if I told you that bone broth, while warm and soothing, is not the miracle many believe it to be when it comes to fighting sarcopenia, the silent thief of muscle that creeps in with age? The truth is, there's another food far more powerful, far more effective, that has been quietly sitting on grocery store shelves, often overlooked, yet it can deliver the kind of protein, collagen, and repair compounds your body desperately needs to stop muscle loss in its tracks. And unlike bone broth, which can vary wildly in nutrients depending on how it's made, this food is consistent, reliable, and backed by science. Let's step back for a moment. Sarcopenia, the gradual decline in muscle mass and strength, isn't just about weakness. It's about independence. It's about whether you can get out of a chair on your own, climb the stairs without gasping, carry groceries, or hug your grandchild tightly without feeling fragile. Sarcopenia strips away dignity slowly, leaving behind fatigue, frailty, and frustration. But here's the hopeful part. Your muscles are not doomed to fade. They are living, dynamic tissue, waiting to be nourished, waiting to be rebuilt, even later in life. This is where food becomes your greatest ally. And while bone broth has gained attention, it is not the champion we need against sarcopenia. Yes, bone broth contains amino acids and collagen fragments, but its protein content is often surprisingly low, sometimes as little as 2 to 5 grams per serving. That's barely enough to light a match, let alone fuel the roaring fire of muscle repair. Sarcopenia requires more. Your body craves complete proteins rich in leucine, the amino acid that flips on the switch inside your muscles, telling them, rebuild, grow stronger, come back to life. So what food outshines bone broth? What food has been hiding in plain sight, delivering 20 times more muscle-building power, with a density of nutrients that bone broth could never match? The answer is lentils. Yes, humble lentils, the little legumes found in soups and stews, are a quiet superfood when it comes to defeating muscle loss. One single cup of cooked lentils packs about 18 grams of protein. Compare that to bone broth, and the difference is astonishing. Not only do lentils provide more protein, but they're also loaded with iron for energy, magnesium for muscle function, and fiber to keep your gut microbiome thriving. That last point matters more than most people realize, because a healthy gut means better nutrient absorption and better muscle repair. Think about it. Your muscles are only as strong as the nutrients that reach them. You can drink all the bone broth in the world, but if it isn't delivering enough protein or the right amino acids, your muscles will still shrink. Lentils, on the other hand, bring the complete package: protein, minerals, antioxidants, and even compounds that fight chronic inflammation, which silently eats away at muscle tissue over time. Now here's something even more exciting. Studies show that when older adults add more plant-based proteins like lentils to their diet, they not only preserve their muscle, but in some cases actually regain lost strength. That means you can turn back the clock, reversing years of decline, just by making this small, powerful change at the table. Imagine trading a weak, shaky step for a confident stride. Imagine replacing constant fatigue with the energy to enjoy the day fully. That is what the right food can do, and lentils are not alone in this fight. Chickpeas, black beans, and quinoa all stand shoulder to shoulder in this category of powerhouse foods. But lentils, in particular, rise above for one important reason. They are one of the richest natural sources of leucine outside of animal protein. Leucine, as I mentioned, is the spark plug for muscle synthesis. Without enough leucine, your body struggles to repair itself, no matter how much protein you eat. Bone broth falls flat here. Lentils deliver. Picture this: a warm, hearty lentil stew seasoned with garlic, onions, and a touch of turmeric, not only giving your muscles what they crave, but also calming inflammation and boosting circulation. Or a fresh lentil salad with lemon and olive oil, bright and energizing, feeding both your body and your soul. This isn't a diet. This isn't a trend. This is real nourishment grounded in science and proven in practice. Bone broth may make you feel cozy, but it won't kill sarcopenia. Lentils, humble and unassuming, just might. And the beauty is, they are affordable, versatile, and accessible almost everywhere. Now, imagine your life with stronger muscles, steadier balance, and more energy. Imagine not having to fear the future, because you know you are actively fueling your body with what it truly needs. That future is possible. And it doesn't start with a cup of broth. It starts with the right choice at the table. One bowl of lentils, one meal at a time, one stronger tomorrow after another. Bone broth has been praised in glossy magazines and cookbooks as a cure-all. It's described as liquid gold for your joints, your skin, and yes, your muscles. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one talks about. Bone broth is inconsistent. What's in your cup depends entirely on how long it was cooked, what bones were used, and whether it was simmered at the right temperature. Some broths barely have any collagen at all. Others are little more than flavored water. And even when collagen peptides are present, your body doesn't absorb them whole and magically insert them into your muscles. No, collagen is broken down into tiny amino acids during digestion. Then your body decides how to use them. And here's the kicker. If your muscles are starving for protein, your body may divert those amino acids elsewhere, like to your skin or gut lining. That means sipping broth may give you comfort, but it rarely delivers the protein punch needed to reverse sarcopenia. So let's pull back the curtain on what muscle really craves. Our muscles are made up of strands of protein fibers, woven tightly like rope. To repair and grow, they require not just any protein, but specific building blocks, amino acids, with leucine being the most critical. Think of leucine as the key that turns on the ignition inside your muscles. Without it, your body is like a car sitting in the driveway with no spark. You can pour in all the gas you want, but you're not going anywhere. This is where lentils shine. One serving doesn't just give you protein, it gives you a balance of amino acids, including leucine. It also delivers slow-burning carbohydrates to provide energy for activity, plus iron to carry oxygen to your tissues. Remember, muscles don't grow in isolation. They need oxygen to function, magnesium to contract properly, potassium to avoid cramping, and antioxidants to fight off cellular stress. Lentils check every one of these boxes. Bone broth simply doesn't. Now let me tell you a story. A woman in her early 70s came to a nutrition program because she felt her legs weakening. She was sipping bone broth daily, believing it was enough to fight sarcopenia. But she still struggled to climb stairs and carry groceries. When her diet was shifted to include lentils 3 to 4 times per week, mixed into soups, salads, and even stews, something remarkable happened. Within 2 months, she reported not only better energy, but more strength in her grip. She could open jars again. She could garden longer without needing to rest. These weren't miracles. They were the predictable results of feeding her muscles the right building blocks. And there's another hidden benefit of lentils: the microbiome connection. Inside your gut lives trillions of bacteria that communicate with your body. They don't just digest food. They influence your metabolism, your immune system, even your muscles. Scientists now know that when the gut microbiome is fed the right fibers, like the ones abundant in lentils, it produces short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and improve muscle repair. So while bone broth bypasses the gut almost entirely, lentils actually heal it and amplify nutrient absorption. Let's compare side by side. Bone broth, 2 grams of protein, little to no fiber, small amounts of minerals. Lentils, 18 grams of protein, 15 grams of fiber, powerful antioxidants and minerals that directly support muscle health. The choice is clear. Yet the marketing of bone broth has clouded our vision, while lentils have sat quietly in the background, underestimated. Now you may be asking, how can you use lentils practically day by day without getting bored? The beauty of lentils is in their versatility. Red lentils melt into soups, creating a creamy, protein-rich base. Green lentils hold their shape in salads, pairing perfectly with olive oil, lemon, and herbs. Black lentils, sometimes called beluga lentils, have a nutty flavor that complements roasted vegetables. By rotating these varieties, you're not just protecting your muscles, you're giving your taste buds something exciting. And here's the suspenseful twist. Scientists are discovering that older adults who rely only on animal protein may actually experience more inflammation long-term, especially if their diet lacks plant diversity. That inflammation silently damages muscles, joints, and even blood vessels. Plant-based proteins like lentils, however, come with natural anti-inflammatory compounds that animal protein lacks. This means that lentils not only rebuild your muscles, they also protect them from the invisible flames of inflammation that threaten to tear them down. Imagine waking up one morning with strength returning to your hands, with the confidence to rise from your chair without effort. Imagine your family seeing you carry heavy grocery bags again and asking, "What changed?" The answer wouldn't be found in a steaming cup of bone broth. It would be found in a simple bowl of lentils on your plate, nourishing you from the inside out. When people think of muscle loss, they imagine weakness from aging, or perhaps inactivity. What almost no one realizes is that one of the biggest destroyers of muscle happens silently, beneath the surface: chronic inflammation. Unlike the swelling you see when you sprain an ankle, chronic inflammation is invisible. It quietly smolders inside your blood vessels, in your joints, and yes, even in your muscles. Over time, this flame erodes muscle fibers, making them thinner, weaker, and more prone to breakdown. Scientists call this process inflammaging, the gradual chronic inflammation that accelerates aging itself. And here's the shocking truth. If you're relying on the wrong foods, you're actually fueling this fire without even realizing it. Let's go back to bone broth. It's often marketed as anti-inflammatory, but the truth is, bone broth doesn't actually contain the natural plant compounds, like polyphenols, flavonoids, and prebiotic fibers that have been proven to lower inflammation at the cellular level. This is why so many people sipping broth daily still feel stiffness in their joints, weakness in their legs, and fog in their mind. The fire is still burning inside. Now compare that with lentils. Lentils come packed with antioxidants such as polyphenols, which act like firefighters rushing into the scene. They quench the flames of oxidative stress that eat away at muscle fibers. They also deliver magnesium, which calms overactive nerves and muscles, reducing that achy, restless feeling that so often comes with inflammation. Even more importantly, the soluble fiber in lentils feeds your gut microbiome, the tiny ecosystem of bacteria that produces anti-inflammatory compounds naturally. When your gut is healthy, inflammation falls, muscles recover, and energy rises. I want you to picture something. Imagine your muscles as a house built with strong wooden beams. Chronic inflammation is like termites, silently chewing away at the structure, unseen until it's too late. By the time you notice weakness, the damage has already been happening for years. Bone broth doesn't stop the termites. Lentils, however, bring in the pest control team. They fortify the beams, repair the damage, and protect against further destruction. Now let's connect this to sarcopenia. Sarcopenia doesn't just happen because your muscles get old. It happens because your body is losing the constant balance between damage and repair. In youth, your repair mechanisms outpace the damage. But as you age, inflammation tips the scales. Suddenly, muscle breakdown is faster than rebuild. The only way to reverse that is to tilt the balance back, reducing inflammation while fueling repair. Lentils, with their dual power of protein and anti-inflammatory compounds, accomplish exactly that. Here it is, where suspense builds even more. Researchers have found that older adults who eat just 2 servings of legumes per week, lentils, beans, or chickpeas, show significantly higher muscle strength and mobility compared to those who don't. Think about that. Just 2 servings per week could mean the difference between walking confidently and needing a cane, between opening a stubborn jar and struggling helplessly, between independence and dependence. And there's something else fascinating. When people switch from animal-heavy protein sources to more plant-based proteins like lentils, their blood markers of inflammation drop within weeks. C-reactive protein, one of the strongest predictors of inflammation-related muscle decline, falls noticeably. This means the changes aren't just theoretical, they're visible in the bloodstream. But the benefits don't stop at your muscles. Lower inflammation means healthier arteries, sharper memory, and better immune resilience. That's the domino effect of one small food shift. Choosing lentils over bone broth, beans over bacon, chickpeas over cheese-heavy meals. Your body doesn't just thank you in one way, it thanks you in every way. So let's return to the kitchen for a moment. You've got two options for dinner. Option 1, a cup of bone broth, light, salty, soothing but thin on nutrients. Option 2, a rich lentil stew simmered with garlic, onions, carrots, and a drizzle of olive oil. One is a promise that fades on delivery. The other is fuel, repair, protection, and strength in every spoonful. Which do you think your body truly craves? Here's the truth about habits. It's not what you eat once a month or even once a week that transforms your body. It's what you do every single day, small decisions repeated over time that either strengthen your muscles or starve them. And when it comes to sarcopenia, those daily choices are everything. Now here's the surprising part. Building muscle through food doesn't always mean piling a steak on your plate or gulping down protein shakes. In fact, those strategies often miss the mark. Steak brings protein, yes, but no fiber, no antioxidants, and can sometimes fuel inflammation. Protein shakes. Many are processed, filled with artificial additives, and not always well absorbed. What you need is clean, consistent protein delivered alongside the very nutrients that calm inflammation and improve absorption. That's where lentils shine, not just as a food, but as a habit. Let's imagine your morning. Instead of skipping breakfast or relying on toast and coffee, picture a savory lentil and spinach scramble. Red lentils cooked down soft and creamy, mixing perfectly with eggs or tofu, giving you a protein-packed, leucine-rich start to your day. Within 30 minutes, those amino acids are circulating through your bloodstream, knocking on the doors of your muscles, whispering, "It's time to rebuild." That's not just breakfast, it's muscle therapy. At lunch, swap a sandwich for a warm lentil salad with olive oil, lemon, fresh herbs, and roasted vegetables. Suddenly, you're not just filling your stomach, you're feeding your gut microbiome, which in turn sends anti-inflammatory signals throughout your body. Those signals reduce muscle breakdown, protect blood vessels, and even improve brain function. That's the domino effect of the right lunch. And dinner? Imagine a comforting lentil stew cooked with turmeric, garlic, and tomatoes. Turmeric calms inflammation, garlic improves circulation, tomatoes deliver lycopene to protect your cells, and the lentils bring the protein that ties it all together. One bowl does what bone broth could never do. It simultaneously nourishes, repairs, and protects. But here's the suspenseful twist. Many people unknowingly sabotage their muscle rebuilding efforts by combining the wrong foods. For example, pairing lentils with processed meats or heavy fried foods cancels much of the benefit. The inflammatory oils and preservatives in those foods ignite the very fire you are trying to put out. It's like pouring gasoline on a flame while tossing in water at the same time. The fire still wins. That's why simplicity is key. Lentils with olive oil, lentils with vegetables, lentils with whole grains like quinoa or brown rice. These pairings create what scientists call a complete protein, meaning your body gets every amino acid it needs in the right ratio. When this happens, your muscles respond quickly. It's like handing a builder not just random bricks, but the exact blueprint and tools to assemble a strong, lasting house. Now let's tie this to the emotional heart of sarcopenia. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Instead of shuffling across the living room, you're moving with strength, carrying bags of groceries with ease. Instead of avoiding stairs, you're climbing them with confidence. Instead of hesitating to play with your grandchild, you're down on the floor, laughing, strong and engaged. That transformation begins not in the gym, not in a supplement bottle, but right at your table, with a spoonful of lentils. And here's one more thing to think about. Every single time you choose lentils over bone broth, beans over bacon, chickpeas over cheese-heavy casseroles, you're sending your body a signal. That signal says, repair, grow, protect. It's not just food, it's information. Information your muscles desperately need. This isn't about denying yourself comfort. It's about choosing foods that deliver on their promises. Bone broth promises strength but rarely delivers. Lentils don't make flashy promises. They just deliver quietly, consistently, meal after meal. Science often confirms what tradition has known for centuries. Around the world, there are pockets of people who live longer, healthier lives, places called the blue zones. These are communities where age doesn't automatically mean weakness, where elders continue working, walking and thriving well into their 80s, 90s and beyond. And when researchers look closely at their diets, one common thread stands out: legumes. Lentils, beans, chickpeas, black-eyed peas. Foods that often cost pennies, yet deliver more for muscle health than many expensive supplements. Let's take Sardinia, Italy, one of the most famous blue zones. Here, men and women well into their 80s walk up steep hills daily, tend to gardens and gather with family. Their diet? A cornerstone is fava beans and chickpeas, slow-cooked, paired with olive oil and fresh herbs. Protein-rich, anti-inflammatory and gut-nourishing, these foods quietly protect their muscles year after year. Or look at Okinawa, Japan, another blue zone. For generations, Okinawans thrived on a diet rich in soybeans and lentils, combined with vegetables and seaweed. Their elders show astonishing muscle resilience, with far lower rates of frailty compared to Western populations of the same age. Their secret wasn't high-tech supplements or animal-heavy protein. It was legumes, daily, in forms as simple as soups, stews, and stir-fries. Now compare that with societies where bone broth is trendy, but legumes are underappreciated. Muscle loss, frailty, and dependence rise sharply with age. This isn't coincidence. It's cause and effect. The foods that rebuild muscle are the ones consistently providing high-quality protein, leucine, and anti-inflammatory support. Bone broth just doesn't check those boxes. Lentils and legumes do. But let's look at the data. In one large study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging, researchers found that older adults who consumed legumes at least 4 times per week had significantly stronger grip strength and lower risk of sarcopenia compared to those who ate them rarely. Grip strength, by the way, is more than just holding a jar. It's a powerful predictor of overall health and independence. Strong grip equals strong muscles, which equals longer, healthier life. And here's something even more astonishing. Legumes don't just stop muscle loss, they can actually trigger muscle regeneration. A randomized trial showed that seniors who incorporated lentils and beans into their meals for just 12 weeks had measurable increases in lean muscle mass, even without adding new exercise routines. Think about that. Food alone reversed part of the muscle decline. No powders, no gimmicks, no expensive bone broth. Just simple, affordable legumes. So what does this mean for you sitting at your table today? It means the choice is yours. Every meal is an opportunity to either fuel decline or ignite regeneration. A bowl of bone broth may feel soothing in the moment, but it won't rebuild your legs, your arms, or your grip. A bowl of lentils, though? That's a blueprint for resilience. That's a message to your body. Stay strong, stay capable, keep going. And it's not just about muscles. Remember, muscles are your largest metabolic organ. They control how well you process sugar, how steady your balance is, even how your brain receives oxygen. Protect your muscles and you protect your entire health. Neglect them, and decline comes faster than you ever expect. That's why cultures that center their meals on legumes age differently. They don't see their 70s and 80s as years of decline, but as years of continued activity. Gardening, dancing, laughing, carrying grandchildren, these aren't luxuries. They're daily life. And the common denominator? Legumes on the plate, meal after meal, decade after decade. Now I want you to picture this. You were sitting at your dinner table 6 months from now. In front of you is a colorful lentil salad, drizzled with olive oil, bright with fresh herbs. Your muscles are stronger. Your energy is steadier. Your step is lighter. You feel capable again, not fragile. You've tilted the balance from decline to repair. That's not a fantasy. It asks the predictable outcome of nourishing your body with what it has been craving all along. One of the biggest reasons sarcopenia sneaks up on women and men over 60 is not because they aren't eating enough food, it is because they were eating the wrong foods. You see, many older adults are consuming meals that are filling but not repairing. They feel satisfied in the moment, but their muscles remain starved of the very building blocks they need to regenerate. And this silent mistake, repeated day after day, year after year, is what accelerates weakness, frailty, and dependence. Take breakfast, for example. Many seniors start the day with a slice of toast, a bowl of cereal, or maybe just tea and biscuits. These are comforting, yes, but they provide almost no protein. Without protein, your muscles wake up hungry, and by lunchtime you've already missed the prime window to feed them what they need. Now imagine instead beginning your morning with something as simple as a warm lentil porridge, lightly seasoned, or even a chickpea scramble tossed with vegetables. Suddenly, you've turned breakfast into muscle medicine. That one swap changes the trajectory of your entire day. Lunch is another silent trap. Many lean on soups, perhaps with a little bone broth base, believing it's helping their strength. But remember, broth is thin on protein. It comforts, but it doesn't build. Now imagine replacing that thin broth with a hearty lentil and vegetable stew. Every spoonful delivers protein, fiber, and nutrients that not only keep you full but actively fight muscle loss. That's the difference between eating for comfort and eating for resilience. Dinner is where many rely on meat or poultry, but here, as the truth, aging digestion often struggles to efficiently break down large portions of animal protein. This means you may eat it, but your body doesn't absorb it as effectively as it once did. Lentils, on the other hand, are easier to digest and offer a steady release of amino acids that your muscles can actually use. Pairing them with a small portion of fish or chicken, if you like, creates a complete, highly absorbable protein profile that rivals any supplement. Another common mistake? Snacking. Many seniors snack on biscuits, crackers, or sweets in the afternoon, which only spike blood sugar and drain energy. But a small bowl of roasted chickpeas or hummus with vegetables transforms that snack into muscle therapy. These little choices, repeated consistently, are what separate decline from longevity. And here's the part most people overlook. Your muscles don't need enormous doses of protein all at once. They need a steady stream gently delivered, every few hours throughout the day. This is called muscle protein synthesis, and it's the body's way of repairing and rebuilding tissue. If you skip meals or load protein all at once, you miss this steady stimulation. That's why lentils and beans work so beautifully. They can be woven into small portions across the day, in salads, soups, dips, stews, and even snacks. They fuel your body consistently, not sporadically. Now let's address something many women over 60 in particular struggle with: appetite. As we age, our appetite often shrinks. This means the volume of food you eat matters more than ever. If you're eating less overall, every bite needs to count. Bone broth takes up space without delivering enough. Lentils, by contrast, pack a punch of nutrients in a small serving. Just half a cup of cooked lentils gives you about 9 grams of protein, almost as much as an entire egg, along with iron, magnesium, potassium, and fiber. That's concentrated nutrition, perfect for a smaller appetite. Think of it like this. Bone broth is like watering a plant with plain water. It hydrates, but it doesn't provide minerals or fertilizer. Lentils, however, are like watering that same plant with a nutrient-rich solution. It not only hydrates, but feeds the roots, strengthens the leaves, and fuels growth. Your muscles are the same. They don't just want volume, they want quality, and lentils deliver it every single time. Here's the mistake I see again and again. Seniors who believe they are protecting their health with small bowls of broth, bits of toast, or light salads, but in reality, they're silently starving their muscles. And then, when weakness comes, when climbing stairs feels harder, when balance starts to waver, they assume it's simply age. But it's not just age, it's nutrition. And the body responds dramatically once the right foods are reintroduced. The good news? It only takes weeks to see change. Research shows that older adults who shift even a portion of their diet to legumes experience measurable improvements in muscle mass and function in as little as 8 to 12 weeks. That means by next season, your body could already feel different, stronger, steadier, more capable. Every bite is a signal to your body that you are still building, still thriving, and still capable of living fully after 60. The choice is simple. Feed your muscles what they truly need, and they will carry you with strength for the years ahead.